And we're back for another episode of Rounds of the Knight's Table. I'm Jim.
I am Eric.
And today we're talking about Game of Thrones, Season 8, Episode 4, The Last of the Starks. New subscriber, Leroy Gibson. Welcome to the family, brother. I'm looking at you. I still got your card because you haven't seen Us or Get Out. Sunday night started off with Jon Snow giving a speech around all the dead bodies. Everyone's in mourning. And they're laying on top of these pyramids that look like those old school firework tanks. I don't mind. And then after all the mourning comes the fucking party. And Tormund, you best bet your balls, is bringing it. Which one of you cowards shit in my pants? Can he get his own sitcom already? I know I said it last week. I've been saying it. Especially after he doesn't get Brienne.
Oh man, the look on his face.
The heartbreak.
It broke my heart.
So Brienne ends up in a drinking game, Tyrion's drinking game, and ends up revealing that she's a virgin, and walks off to her room saying she has to piss.
Well, she really doesn't answer, but you know.
Yeah.
The answer's kind of obvious.
It kind of gave Jaime that vibe, like, what's up? But everyone's parading around Jon Snow. Khaleesi? Dany? Not having it. Not happy. In fact, she looks so pissed off, she could have used a double shot espresso in that Starbucks cup that was sitting next to her. Do they even care anymore? They're saying, oh, it's not a big deal. Isn't it?
It's kind of a big deal.
Dany begs Jon to keep the secret, you know.
Of his parentage.
Because she wants that goddamn throne. Even though
Jon
Jon doesn't want it. Once you say it, once it's out there, and people are going to rally around you. They're rallying around him anyway in the north. He begs Jon not to tell him, but he ends up, letting Bran tell the sisters.
Bran tells him, it's your choice.
And that secret runs from there to Tyrion and
Of course,
and
because
Varys.
Sansa cannot keep her mouth shut for 5 seconds.
But Varys is going to find out anyway. It's what he does. And so they discuss who's more fit to rule. And also Tyrion suggests them ruling together, but you know that's not on her cards. I would tend to side with Varys, who seems to think Jon Snow is a better leader. He's always positioned himself to be on the winning team. He's the Robert Ory of the realm. Gendry, no longer a bastard, proposes to Arya to become his Lady of Storm's End, but she's not a lady. She's fucking Arya Stark.
That's not who she is.
Don't let that body fool you. She's just gangsta, man. That's who Arya is. She killed the fucking Night King. She wants to settle down with you?
She got toasted by Daenerys Targaryen. First of her name.
And then, Bran loses her virginity to Jaime. I hope that gold hand had a rabbit setting.
I've never slept with a knight before.
Bronn shows up, knows that he's not going to kill them. He's looking for a better deal. That's all Bronn is. He's sleazy. Jaime decides to break Bran's heart and go back to Cersei. But I don't think it's to go back to Cersei. I think it's to go back and kill
my
Cersei.
Idea,
they just made it seem like he was going back because he's bad, because he pushed Bran out the window. Yeah, all right, we'll give you a pass. And then Jon leaves his crew, abandoning the North, the Starks, essentially leaving all his Starkhood behind. Ghost? He doesn't even pet Ghost goodbye?
Like, really? I mean, come on. I get that you had a lot of budget set for the dragons and all that, but you could not budget in a little bit more just to have Ghost get pet. This goodest boy lost an ear.
This goodest boy.
He lost an ear, man, and you couldn't let him be pet. The one thing in this world he cares about.
Jon Snow, I don't even know you anymore. Tyrion and the Unsullied show up on ships at Dragonstone while Dany's flying overhead, and fucking Rhaegal gets sniped out of the sky. Takes one to the heart, takes one to the neck. I was waiting for Sean William Scott in Old School to be like, dude, you got a fucking dart in your neck. And it didn't happen. That dude dropped into the sea. Where's the Night King to pull him out? Caught by surprise by who else? Discount General Zod. But then they attack the ships as Dany flies away and get.
He's like, "Oh, you're gonna fly out of my sights.
Don't fly behind us and smoke us from the back," which you probably could have. But then they get Missandei and they take her prisoner. So the two powerful women meet while Cersei's standing up here. And they're down here.
It's kind of like real life.
And then there's like 8 Unsullied. I mean,
Is
not
that
for
all
nothing.
the Unsullied that's
Not
left?
for nothing. They could have taken him out with all those arrows. So they're going back and forth, Tyrion and that dude, the hand.
Qyburn.
And Tyrion's just like, you know what, I'm going to talk to my sister. But there's no talking to this crazy.
I did love that he just walked right around Qyburn.
It was gangster.
You're worthless.
Essentially, they're both trying to say, surrender your claim to the throne. And Cersei's like, hey, I'm just going to cut this bitch's head off. And the mountain cuts Missandei's head off with Grey Worm watching. Rip. Let's talk about the good. There were some funny lines in this. Again, Tormund. This is the best episode of the season for me thus far. And I know that we just had the... Yeah, this episode, it drags a little bit. It's a little long. It seems like a little bit of a filler, but not. I mean, I can see those Game of Thrones wheels turning, even in the most minimal ways. Even though they keep coming back to the same conversation a few times. Whatever. But then when Rhaegal gets sniped and Missandei gets the head cut off, that's not great. But it was good because it's Game of Thrones. The last 15 to 20 minutes for me were what made this episode. Another good thing about this episode, I could see it. I didn't have to tamper with any of my settings.
You know, I actually like Jon's speech at the beginning. I get where the characters are all coming from, where he's such, a good leader. He's, a good king because he's so, he's nice, he's fair, he makes great speeches. Some people are all like, he's really dumb. And I'm not saying they're wrong, because he's had some plans recently that have not gone according to.
Well, Tyrion either, who's clever.
But it's not his fault, really. He is a good leader. I think he would make a really good king. Unfortunately, I think he's going to get it. And Sam is going to be his hand, probably. Or his maester.
Grand Maester,
Or Tormund could be his hand.
Oh, boy.
I like the emotional tie-ins with Jaime and Brienne. It starts off in, season 2 or 3 with them?
Yeah.
Late 2, early 3. And now it finally culminates into the actual relationship type thing.
Let's talk about the bed. The elephant in the room is obviously the Starbucks cup. It's whatever. I mean, there are errors in shows. I get it, but man, woof.
But you are one of the biggest shows in television history. And you're telling me that you did not have another cut of that scene without that cup.
Jon Snow. He's gotten so goddamn pussy whipped. He's really just asking to be killed. He's putting all his eggs in Dany's basket. That sounds kind of perverted.
I mean, it's kind of the opposite way around.
Also, he was brought back for a purpose. Since Arya's walking around like my man in Call of Duty and stealing all my kills, picking up all my tags, he has a destiny. And what is that? We don't know. It's obviously not to kill Cersei because that's not his kill.
No, that's either Jaime or Arya.
But green eyes, I don't necessarily think it's going to mean Cersei because I didn't even realize that until last night that Daenerys had green eyes.
Really? I didn't either.
I think she does. When she walks, that face.
Check that. So we talked about Rhaegal getting gangsta shot through the neck. How does no one see the Greyjoy fleet?
Well, that ruins the suspense.
Look here.
How do you know?
Not one single soldier had their head pointed a little bit right.
We're getting close to the end here, and now they're going to have to rush everything.
I do feel that it's being very rushed. Like they just left Winterfell, and now they're already in King's Landing.
I don't
10
mind
minutes
that.
later.
I don't mind that because I need to see the journey?
Look, I get they unlocked fast travel.
But I'm interested to know if you guys like this episode. If you didn't like this episode, let us know in the comments. Hit that like, press that subscribe, and we will check you out next time. Only on Rounds of the Knight's Table. Bum, 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 bum. Pew, pew.